Mickey, let's start with our first question, and mercenarygeologist.com. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, this business just turned 10 years old.
10 years. Congratulations.
On April 25th of 2008, immediately before the global economic crisis.
Beautiful timing.
Yeah, because I wanted to get in at the bottom.
Yeah.
There was a bunch of disgruntled investors who didn't like the current crop of newsletter writers, so it worked out quite good. I've been a practicing economic geologist for including my time as analyst and newsletter writer for 40 years now. So I spent basically 30 years in the field as a chief geologist, and at one point I said, I want to be an analyst. I want to travel all over the world and look at
much better
all these great mineral deposits. I put the word on the street, and then 2 months later I was an analyst.
You know, it's funny, I was going to say to you, with your length of time in the business, how things have changed. Before I get to that question, even since 2008, and the ominous time when you started it, obviously it's been successful at 10 years, how have things changed just in the 10 years in this business?
Well, I think what we've seen is a lot more due diligence, and this is by the retail lay investor, and that's really the goal of mine. Most of my subscribers, now at 6,700, are retail lay investors, so we're trying to educate them. The business has changed in the fact that, you know, we went through that global economic crisis very quick, down and up on that. Then metal prices in 2011 peaked, and we've been fighting a bear market for about 4 or 5 years now, and we're starting to emerge from that. So I'm cautiously optimistic, I would say.
You mentioned a key word there for people out there investing, looking at what to get into. In the time you've been doing it, you talked about education, you want to do that with people. Are the people you're reaching much more educated than they were, say, 20, 30 years ago, 40 years ago when you started?
No, absolutely. I mean, really, this business existed 20 or 30, well, let's say 30 or 40 years ago. It was very provincial in Canada.
Right.
By the early 80s, when I was working for a major mining company in the western U.S., we started to see the Canadians coming in with juniors and competing, especially in gold. By, let's say, the mid-90s, the world kind of became our oyster as geologists. We went all over the place. By the mid-2000s, we were once again all over the place exploring, and then we got burned by resource nationalism. So what I've seen now is a more focus on stable geopolitical jurisdictions, and for me, really, that is the Americas. I speak Spanish, so I'm comfortable from the tip of Chile to the Yukon or Alaska.
I take it you travel quite a lot, so you're speaking a second language that does cover a lot of the globe.
I am, you know, some people call me peripatetic, which means someone who travels a lot, and I do.
That word. Very nice. It's early in the show here when we're talking to you. Is anything jumping out at you?
Well, I think what jumps out today is the price of gold went below 1,300 this morning. So I'm giving a talk here in about 2 hours called Will the Price of Gold Break Out? How, Why, and When? And I actually went in this morning and revised my thinking a little bit, because we've been range bound from 1,300 to 1,360, and this morning we breached that gap and went below, and we're right now at 1,295 or whatever it is. That's the year low for gold. So it all has to do with U.S. dollar. When the U.S. dollar goes up, gold goes down, and vice versa, and we've seen a 4-point increase in the U.S. dollar over the last 5 weeks.
Very nice. I know you're a busy man here today. I want to thank you for taking time to talk with us. It is Mickey Fulp from mercenarygeologist.com, a newsletter, and a guy whose air miles I really think I would like to have. Mickey, have a good time here.
Thanks a lot,
Cheers.
Jim.